On this week's show, how to make sure that your business is ready if the coronavirus strikes.
In the news, coronavirus, 7 essential tips if you have to work from home.
And we're going to be answering all your business-related questions. Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Blueprint podcast. We're here every Monday at 12 midday. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and you can watch us on YouTube. Hi, I'm Russell Leeds. Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Blueprint podcast. I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Alasdair Cunningham, everyone. Hi, how are you?
We're very well, very well. How have you been? Have you had a good week?
I had an amazing week.
Before we get cracking into the...
I've had an amazing week.
Tell me the most exciting thing you've done this week.
The most exciting thing that's done this week is I'm one step closer to a house that I really want completing. Really want it. It's going to be an amazing deal. It's a really good money in, money out deal, and I'm one step closer. So that's my highlight of this week.
Oh, nice.
What about you?
I went for a run this morning.
Yep.
For the first time, because I used to run 2 miles a day every day.
Did you really?
Yeah. All right, mate. All right.
Okay.
Did
you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
For years. I was a really regular runner for years. Just 2 miles.
So you regularly had the runs?
I regularly had the runs, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really regularly. That's because I used to go to the curry house all the time.
Okay.
So it really got me. No, I used to regularly run every day. When I would have been about 6-7 years ago.
Right.
I did it for about 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And then it wasn't quite so regular, but I carried on running up until about 2 years ago when I ran a 10K, which is the most I've ever done.
Well, how did you go on?
I did it in an hour.
I don't know if that's good. Is that good or not?
It's what I wanted to do.
Okay, cool.
So it's okay.
Do you enjoy running?
I do when I'm into it. So it's the sort of thing that once you get started in it, I'm like, I actually really enjoy this. And I enjoy the feeling afterwards, but while I'm actually running, quite often, obviously painful, so no.
I know somebody that got into running about 4 years ago.
Yeah. It's quite addictive.
And yeah, he loves it. He'll go for like 15, 20 mile runs.
Yeah.
And he's always putting it on Facebook on that map. There's an app he's got.
Like Runkeeper
Strava,
or whatever.
I think it was Strava. It's like an app and it shows his journey, and he's always doing like 15, 20 kilometers, and like before,
wow,
like
that's way
3
better
years
than me.
ago, he would be out of breath after like 200 yards.
You get fit really quickly.
And now he's
so when I first started, like a few years ago, because I hadn't run feet since I was a kid, and I did about half a mile, and I was I could taste blood in the back of my throat.
Taste blood.
Do you not know that? Do you know? Have you ever had that? Yeah, you can. If you're really unfit, you can literally. I can taste blood in the back of your throat.
Okay, so I used to in my apartment downstairs. I've got a gym, so I go swimming 3-4 times a week. But there's like a load of running machines, and I go on them now and again, and I'll do like 25 minutes, a little bit of a gradient, and about 13, 14, 15 miles an hour. I don't know how fast that is, and I don't know, is that good or bad? Or
I don't believe you.
No, I do, trust me, I do.
14 miles an hour?
13 or 14, that's not that fast, mate.
That's
quite slow. No, it's not. That's pretty slow.
13 miles an hour, I'm just trying to think. That means you'd run a marathon in like 2 hours. That is really quick.
Do it for like 10, 15 minutes.
You just said 20, 25?
Yeah, but I normally walk for the first 5 and the last 5. So,
I normally work for the first 12 and the last 12.
No, but I'm normally screwed. I'm normally absolutely...
Well, of course you are, because you're sprinting.
That's
for
not sprinting speed.
Dude, that's so fast.
13 miles an hour? Maybe it's kilometres an hour then.
Maybe it's just level 13 on the treadmill.
Who knows? Maybe.
That's fast. But you'll have to go together. We'll go for a run.
Good, but I'm not like I'll
you are. You're freaking champion, right?
Dude, does that look like a freaking champion?
No, I don't believe the figures that you just told me. But if they were true,
I'm gonna have a look tonight.
All right, have a look
tonight. Maybe it's kilometers.
Maybe it's just just like level 1, level 2, level. There's no way.
Who knows?
There's no way. Even 13 kilometers an hour. See, I did 10.
No, but that's
10K. And that was...
Dude, no, that's not right. It must... I'm going to have a look tonight. I'm going to video it and show you.
It might be kilometres. Kilometres...
Well, there's 2.2 kilometres to a mile. So it's effectively half.
Oh, so it's quite...
No, there's 1.6. There's 1.6 kilometres to a mile. So for every 1.6 kilometres, it's 1.
So if you were running 13...
Hold on, let me
it'd be like 20, which means you're twice as fast as I was when I was running my 10K.
13 times 13
times 1.6.
1.6.
That's 20, isn't it?
13
it's about 20.
1.6.
Divided by
8. It's about 8 miles an hour. If it's 13 kilometres, it's about 8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's more realistic.
It's more realistic. So
maybe it's coming. I'll have a look tonight.
All right, have a look.
I'm gonna have a look.
Be very interested. So
I'll video it. I'll take a video.
First one today, 2.2. I did walk a tiny bit of it because I ran about 1.5 miles and then I walked for about 100 yards and ran again.
Because previous fitness people I've known, they've always said running outside is a lot harder than running on a treadmill.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, apparently it's a lot harder on your legs and your knees and stuff.
Yeah, because it's just like treadmill's easy, it's totally flat. And you've got the environment, which.
What do you prefer, though? Do you prefer treadmill or do you prefer outside?
I prefer outside.
I must admit, I think I'd prefer outside, especially if you live in Beaconsfield, so you've got a bit of nature around you. Yeah. Like if I want to go running, I'm central London, so I've got.
I like central London though. You can go to Regent's Park.
But for me to get to Regent's Park, 15 minutes, 20 minutes on.
You could run there.
I could run there, but then I'm screwed by the time I get there. I'll be running there. I'll be at the. You could run. I'll be holding on.
Dude, I wouldn't worry for now. Just run to the end of your street. You'll be knackered. Right. Let's get into it then. So this week we wanted to talk to you guys about coronavirus and how to protect your business from the coronavirus. Now there is a chance that it might just all blow over and you don't need to do this, but. One of the things that I've learned from business, I'm sure you'd agree with this, is if you fail to prepare,
you're prepared to fail.
You're prepared to fail. It's very, really important to prepare. And this is something that we've been bouncing around in our office over the last couple of weeks. I know you've been heavily involved with this as well, which is why I wanted to get you on the show this week. And basically, we've sort of worked out. We've gone through about 6 different steps of things to be aware. And I've made a note of them. I just thought I'd share them with anyone here that's got a business because I think that. It could be pretty valuable for you down the line. Like I said, it's not happened yet. And now I know that you're very much under the opinion that it's a big media puff.
And listen, I get it. It's real. I get it. I'm not saying it's a made-up virus. What I'm saying is that it's blown massively out of proportion. It is like a mountain out of a molehill. But interesting conversation we had before we started filming was it's not about the actual problem, it's about the people's perception of the problem.
Perception is everything.
It's the perception of the problem because that's what will cause the problems because it's the people that bring business. And if they're too scared to leave the house or they're too scared to go to that event or to come to work or to go in the underground or to come to if you run, I don't know, whatever, if they're too scared to come to your business because of the perception they've got that it's scared, that it's like going to be the end of the world, then that's the problem we have to face. You'll probably find the reality is the coronavirus is not the biggest problem we've got to face. It's the people's perception of coronavirus.
I imagine so, because the reality is, I mean, one person's, as of filming this anyway, one person's died.
Yeah, which is
today,
which
sad. Obviously very sad.
But put it into the context. Come on, put it into context.
How many? I don't know the figures, but how many people die a year of cancer or a day of cancer? How many people die of diabetes? How many people? In the grand scheme of things, right now, if it wasn't in the media, we wouldn't even know.
No, of course.
So it has been blown up. But as you say, and like we were talking about earlier, it's all about perception. It's all about how other people are going to react. And if people do react and go into panic mode and shut down and isolate themselves, how is that going to affect your business? And how are you going to cope with that?
How can you prevent that?
So first of all, step number 1 is plan for the worst.
Yep.
Okay, so imagine that happened. How would your business cope? Now, for us, it depends on your business. It might be that it doesn't really matter. So it might be that you're a mortgage broker, for example, and people just phone you, and you work from home anyway. You're a one-man band, and you answer the phone, and that's it. You don't really come into contact with anyone. It might not matter. I don't know. But for us, we run an event business.
Yeah.
And in an event business, we're getting hundreds and hundreds of people to our events every single week. Without the events, if people don't come to our events, then we don't make any money. But we've still got all the costs of the staff and the venues, etc., etc.
What do we do to mitigate the risks?
So exactly. So what do you do in that situation? So we're coming up with ideas of having online events, webinars, things like that, using technology. Make the most of the technology that we've got right now. And you need to do the same thing for your business. So think outside the box now. How could you cope? If right now everyone stopped going out, how can you cope? If you're a restaurant, could you start doing takeaways? If you're, I don't know because I don't know what your business is. But it's planning these things and writing down all the ideas that you can think of how you can cope with the problem.
Worst case scenario, we can all just go into the bunkers and hide for 2 years. Well, seems very dramatic. This whole thing seems ridiculously dramatic.
The thing is,
I agree you've got to plan for the worst, but come on, people really not leaving the houses because of a virus.
Well, right now, it's already dipped a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
People are already a bit scared, and nothing. Listen.
Do you think like listen, like we see this all the time. Like we see this in the media all the time. Like last year was it was Zika, Ebola. There was all sorts of viruses going on.
But the thing is,
life still goes on.
Yeah.
Life still goes on. Okay. Business still goes on. The reality is, it might be a little bit of a rough road for the next 6 months or like 6 weeks, however long. Who knows? I reckon it will come out. Now, obviously, we've got to plan. We've got to make sure that if the worst case happens, then we're ready for it. But I don't think it's going to be. I don't think we're going to get to that. I really don't.
Well, again, it's planning ahead, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're right, it might not. And listen, if it doesn't, brilliant.
Yeah.
None of us want it to come to that. It would love it to blow over, but it's preparing for the worst just in case.
Yeah, absolutely. So plan for the worst. Like things like if you've got large meetings, you can use Zoom calls, you can use webinars, all that sort of stuff. So it's all good. It's all good. Okay, what's number 2?
Okay, so number 2, and this is something that you might have, business interruption cover.
I wonder if you tried to get that now.
Wow.
I wonder how much that would cost now if you rung up your insurance provider and said, "Oh, can we have some business interruption cover?" I wonder how much the premium on that would be. It'd be a lot.
It would. And you need to check is the coronavirus. You need to speak to them, find out, am I covered? Because you may or may not be, depending on the type of cover that you've got.
Be interesting. I wonder how many natural disasters that would fall under.
Well, we got robbed. We got robbed not long ago, and our insurance we've realised like pretty much didn't cover 90% of what was taken. It was like, oh, that's not covered, that's not, and we're like, oh man, like it's easy when you get your insurance to try and skimp and go for the cheapest one, but you need to check what's included and what's not.
I've just not been insured, mate. I'm not advising that, but it's just like, what's the point? We pay all that money out for premium, and we didn't go to them and say, oh, just don't cover anything. We asked them. We got a broker in and said, insure us, and turns out we're not insured. So
yeah, true. So that's something else that you might be worth looking into. Right, number 3 is increase your marketing, because
you missed out number 3.
No, I'm going to come back to that. I haven't put them in the right order.
Okay, sorry, man.
So that's okay. So number 3 is increase your marketing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because right now, if you've got some people that are scared, you want to be letting everyone know, hey, we're here, we're still doing this.
We're not going anywhere.
Like our crash courses are still coming on. Make sure that you attend.
Yeah.
Everything's cool. We're good. And you need to be telling everyone, because you will get a drop off.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you increase your marketing so you've still got the same amount of people coming in. You know, they say that 80% of your time should be spent on marketing anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
Because marketing is so... The whole business is all about marketing.
Yeah, 100%.
So make sure that if the worst does happen, you bump up your efforts on
100%. A lot of it is just consumer confidence, just giving the confidence in your consumers and your customers to just, do you know what, just come, get on with it, attend, take precautions, of course, but just be wise about things, and don't let... I honestly just don't let the media like keep you. That's what they want. They want you sustained in your house, not going out fearing for life. It's just, I think, increasing your marketing is a great way. And listen, just be there, be strong. We'll get there.
Cool. So number 4, look for ways you can save money, because worst comes to worst, there's a good chance that your turnover is going to drop. So if your turnover drops and your expenses stay the same, you might be in trouble. So you want to be looking for areas that you can save money. You know, when you're buying new equipment, or when you're if you're hiring new, or whatever it is, think, okay, do I actually need to make that purchase? Do I actually need to buy,
especially at this
a
time,
new camera? Do I actually need to, whatever it is? I don't know what you
that's going to have such an effect on the economy. Because if we now go into a part of, let's start saving money, somewhere down the line, that's going to have an effect on the economy. So if we don't buy another camera because for whatever reason, then the people that sell that camera now are going to sell a camera. Do you know what I mean? So everything's an effect.
It's going to affect the economy.
The economical effect is going to be humongous.
If it really kicks off.
Even now.
It's affecting it.
It's affecting it. And even now, I'm not an economist, so I don't know the figures, but I would say that even just the initial effect on the coronavirus at the minute is wiped hundreds of millions of pounds off the stock market. I bet it has. Do we know the figure? While you're doing the next question, I'm going to have a look.
All right.
I bet you. Okay, so I managed to find the figures for the impact, the financial impact.
Your guess was a little below the reality.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was saying it's got to be hundreds of millions, yeah. But I think that was from the. I remember reading an article that, do you know Corona, the alcohol, the beer? Well, Corona in the last quarter has lost over $130 million.
I saw that. They made $130 million loss where they usually make a profit.
Yeah.
Because of the coronavirus. It's crazy.
Just because people aren't buying it because it's Corona. Like, it's
Do you know
ridiculous.
what's funny though? Because it is stupid, right? But if you had a choice, like it subconsciously puts you off a bit, doesn't it? It's like Corona or Beck's. Let's go Beck's.
Could you imagine being that guy that come up with a name like for the Corona beer?
You'd be like, oh man. I wonder if it affected Savills, the letting agent.
What?
When Jimmy Savile.
Oh.
I wonder if Savills at the time. I wonder if that.
Maybe. However, look, the overall economic financial impact, Wall Street is down 4.3 trillion in value over the last 7 sessions as a result of coronavirus.
Crazy.
Coronavirus-stricken stock market has just saw 4.3 trillion vanish off the stock market in 7 sessions.
That is crazy.
It is horrific. So of course there's going to be an economical outcome, financial ruin on this.
Yeah.
I like I say earlier, I know there's going to be financial ruin, but I just think it's.
Yeah, I know. Number 5 is keep your team. If you've got a team, keep them informed of what's going on. Whether you're asking people to work from home if it gets bad, or if you're going to be like, for us, it might be like we do webinars, online courses, and get the staff to work from home. But keep your team in the loop of what you're doing, what your plans are. The reason being is they'll be thinking about it. People will be saying, "Oh, you're going to be going to work. Oh, how are you going to do your events?" And the questions will be going on in their head, whatever it is your business. And you want to let them know that you're on top of it, and there's a plan in place, and that you've got action steps in place if the worst comes to the worst. So make sure you do that. If you have a team, make sure you keep them informed. And number 6 is make sure you have hygiene around in your office. Just
basic hygiene.
Basic hygiene. Keep the anti-bac. Buy a load of loo roll.
Yeah, but go and empty the shops. Get all the toilet paper from the shops.
So at our events, for example, we've started, having the anti-bac. Instead of giving them a high five on the way in, we give them a little squirty squirt.
We don't give them a high five. We give them a squirty squirt.
They go to high five. It's like, no, hold out your hand.
That's so funny.
Do you know, that happened. I went to church the other day. I walked in and.
I went to a restaurant all day, and as soon as you go in, they squat.
Yeah, but when you went to the restaurant, to be fair, it was only you that they did that to. You walked in, they were like, "All right, he looks dirty.
he looks infected." I'm like, how did they
gave
know?
you a little mask.
How did they know? I think hygiene is really important. Of course, it is. Constantly, be washing your hands. Now, suddenly, for some reason, the media have had this need to inform us all how to wash our hands again. But it's like we forgot. Like, come on, man, just have basic hygiene. Wash your hands.
Basic hygiene. Make sure you keep. Basically, just keep your hands washed.
Just be clean. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
So
I saw a little GIF. It said adults are panicking and buying anti-bac and washing their hands, and they showed a little GIF of a kid to be like this, licking the wall. Kids just don't care, do they? Just there across the wall. So there you go. I'll just very quickly recap. So number 1, plan for the worst. How can you use technology, or what can you do if there is a big outbreak to make sure that you're still making money? Number 2, have a look into, if you haven't already got, business interruption cover insurance. Number 3, increase your marketing. Spend more time on your marketing, so you're making sure that you're still hitting the sales. Number 4, look for any savings. Is there any fat that you can trim from your business where you can save money so you keep your profits high? That'd be great. Number 5, keep your team, keep your staff, and potentially even your customers informed what's going on, what your action steps are. And number 6, don't be dirty. Just, keep up the hygiene, man. Just wash your hands.
Stay clean.
Stay clean, for sure. Right, it's now time for this. Okay, so in the news this week, keeping it all topical today, I found this on sky.com, and it's coronavirus. 7 essential tips if you have to work from home. Something to bear in mind if you have staff or if you are a member of staff and you're working and you might have to go from home, how to make sure that it works. Personally, I hate the working from home thing. I don't think it works.
I don't like it at all because I think the motivation's not there. I like going out, coming to an office, and being at a place of work.
And being part of the team. I think you lose the culture and the teamwork.
Yep.
And I'm really not a fan.
We don't let any of our staff really work from home.
The other thing is the amount of times people come to our events and I'm like, and they're like, yeah, I just need to nip out and make a call. I'm like, I'm working from home today. And I'm thinking, but you're not. You're here at our event. This should be booked holiday. It pisses me off if you were working for me. I'm like, or I see people, I know people that work from home one day a week, and they're like, I never get anything done. I'm going to get my hair cut. And I don't believe it. But if worst comes to the worst and the coronavirus takes off and it's not safe to get people in the office, or otherwise everyone's going to be ill, you might want to get your staff working from home, or you might itself end up working from home. So these are the 7 tips that Sky have come up with of how to make sure that you're effective and you do a good job. So let's go through them now. You may find yourself regularly working from home over the coming weeks. Employers attempt to limit staff exposure to the coronavirus outbreak. Not going to the office is an effective way of preventing the spread of the coronavirus disease because it minimises the risk of you coming into contact with someone who's carrying the disease. Many companies suggest workers who can get the job done from home do just that. So number 1, how to handle conference calls. Group meetings in person can be difficult, but over the phone, they can be absolute chaos. So you can use group conferencing software such as Zoom as a great way of having your meetings virtually.
Absolutely,
Number 2, make sure you've got a good space to work in. I'm sorry to say, but you will still need to get dressed and get out of bed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
The lack of a commute obviously is a good thing, but you need to make sure you've got some space. So make sure you set aside a proper working space where this is my workspace. Otherwise, it's very easy to get distracted. If you've got children, for example, working from home, so find somewhere to cut yourself off, office type space where, bang, you can be there in a working mindset, they describe that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that entirely.
Number 3, clock in and clock out.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you start working, you clock in. When you go on a break, you clock out. So you're keeping yourself accountable
to the hours you're doing.
For the hours that you're doing, because it's very easy for it all to merge into one.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just gonna make a cup of tea. I'm just gonna. The wife wants this, or my husband has asked me to do this, or just gonna quickly nip to the shops. That sort of thing. So clock in, clock out. Number 4, remember to eat.
Okay.
Which, in all fairness, you haven't eaten today, have you?
No.
So you need to take this tip even when you're working at the office.
I'm terrible for not eating.
Remember to eat properly. This takes planning. If you're not going to find yourself, if you're being serious and you're clocking in the hours, then you need to make some time to eat.
They wouldn't have that problem at work because they all look forward to lunchtime, don't they? So lunchtime comes and lunchtime is cool.
Yeah.
But at home, sometimes you could lose that.
Similar to that, is it number 5 now? They're not a number, they're just tips.
Okay,
so
I can't remember.
Can't remember. But remember to take breaks.
Yeah, it's good one. Yeah.
So, we can worry we're not being seen as being productive when we're at home, but nobody's productive when they're hungry, and no one's productive if they're overtired and they're not taking breaks. Make sure you take breaks. And number 7, and so remember to eat. Remember to take breaks. Number 7 is remember to work.
Of course. You got to remember. The thing is, I agree with you entirely. I do not like people working from home. Do you know why? Because for them, it's just an excuse to DOS. It's just a DOS day, isn't it?
Yeah.
A work from home day. It's just rubbish. They'll do anything. It's just...
when anyone says to me, like, so-and-so's working from home today, I see that as, so-and-so is taking a paid day off.
Yeah.
Today.
Having a day off.
It's not counting as holiday. What do you
that,
think, Nick? You can chip in on this. Do you agree with what we're saying?
I like having separation.
Yeah. I think home life should be separate.
I agree.
The only time I would ever perhaps agree to homework is if it's project based. So if they're getting paid an X amount to do a specific project and they've got a deadline for it. So let's just take videography. If we said to Nick, our wonderful cameraman, he's just behind the camera. You can't see him because he's behind the camera, but he's an amazing guy. If you just said to Nick's got to edit this show, and he's got to film it, edit it, and he's got to do all the editing of it. and he's got a price.
What's he got? He's got to edit it.
He's got to edit it,
and all the editing as well as editing it.
Okay, so he's got to do all the work for this show,
right.
But he's got a fixed price to do it, and he's got a time limit to do it. Then he can do whatever, he can work wherever he wants, because it's project based. It's not like an hourly rate, or it's not like a salary position. I think whenever it's project based, because they work harder and they'll work quicker because they want to get that project done. When it's based on salary or hourly rate, I don't think they're going to have the same motivation. I just don't. I don't agree with that. I don't think it should be done.
But
according to coronavirus, yeah, of course, yeah. If coronavirus strikes, we're all going to be in the bunkers and we're all going to be in the nuclear disaster shelters. So we'll have to work from home.
But there's an article that I found in the news this week. I thought it was interesting, and it might be helpful if you have to send people to work at home, or if indeed you have to work at home yourself.
Or you could just jump onto Amazon and all buy Hazchem suits and come to work in Hazchem suits.
Or you could just wear those little masks.
It's been proven they're actually not that effective.
Are they effective at all?
Well, they don't seal around the nose, so
they do.
Not really. No.
Don't they go over the nose?
I read an article the other day where it actually says that most people that wear these masks are actually not doing. They're not.
I saw a clip of people that made them themselves. So do you know like the water fountain things? Do you know like the little where you got little plastic cups and you press the button and the cold water?
Yeah.
Do you know those like tubs that go on top?
Yeah.
So someone had like cut the bottom off that and was wearing it over their head. I thought that was really funny. But there was loads of other ones that people were wearing, like Batman masks and someone with a plastic Tesco bag over their head with eye holes.
What is the world come to? Like we have, do you know our ancestors would be looking at us with a head in hand, shaking their head. That's what they would be doing.
Probably. Right, it's now time for this.
Okay, so we have some questions in for this week's show, and this is a question from Peter. Now, Peter runs an online estate agency, and he's asking for tips on the best way to market his business. So,
I would say, don't breathe on me. I would say the best way to market your business is, first of all, is to be genuine. Hold on a second. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you better now.
Okay. So the first thing I would say is to give value. I always say this when you're marketing stuff, you want to give value. You want to not just press stuff down people's throats.
Yeah.
So, tell people about what you do, but by giving them something that they want. So like, for example, you wrote a book.
Yes.
That's marketing.
Of course it is, 100%.
Because you've written a really good book.
Have you written a book?
Do you want to see the sneak preview of the?
I've seen it. I've seen it about a month ago, but it's not come out yet, has it?
No. You've seen the front cover.
But
today, Nick has just sent me through the back cover and the little spine and everything. It's completely ready. It should be out. By the time this
what's the book called?
Similar sort of time. You know what the book's called?
If I know what it's called, but our viewers know what it's called.
The book is called The Entrepreneur's Blueprint
by Russell Leeds.
It is by Russell Leeds. So it's basically it's basically everything you need to know. If you're planning on starting a business, or if you've started a business but you want to improve it, it's everything you need to know, from sales to marketing to structuring to organisation, everything you need to know to get started. And I've got the front cover.
Show us.
Right now.
So books are a great way to market yourself and to market your business.
Yeah, because you're giving value and you're showing people what you do. So
yeah, great way. So just offer value to people. Don't try and ram a sale down their throat. Just offer value. If you offer value before you, we call it serving before you sell.
What we do, a free property investors crash course.
Yeah.
Which again is marketing, because the idea is that they'll become paid customers and they come along and we give them loads and loads of value.
But even this is marketing. Even this is value. So you guys are here watching us and we're giving you lots of free value. And one day, maybe one of you or two of you will come on and do business with us.
What do you think?
That's good.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's subtle.
There you go.
Do you know what I love about this?
Go on.
The quote from Grant Cardone on the back. Can I share it? Or do you want to wait for it to come out?
Wait.
Okay. So what? Yeah, it's really good.
Thanks, man. So yes, that's coming soon. So marketing, just find ways of showing what you're doing, and but by giving value.
Yeah.
So get people to come to you rather than you going to them.
Okay.
And don't just advertise. We don't just say, like we obviously we sell courses. We don't just go, hey, come buy our courses. No. We go, look, first of all, we're going to market by doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Then we're going to market by doing a free event for you to come and try before you buy.
It's like value, and then you say, look, come on. If you really want to go anymore, there's got to be a fair exchange of money. Yeah. There's got to be.
Yeah.
It's business. Yeah. It's business. So, you got any questions on your phone?
Yep. So let's have a look, see if any more questions. So I
did have another one come in from this was from Mark, and it said, where did Russell get his coronavirus mask from?
Here you go. Got one from Joe. Let me just load it up.
And this has come through the you done a live story on Instagram, was it?
Would like to.
Instagram?
It's on Instagram, yeah. By the way, if you want to ask me questions for future, it's at Russell Leeds. Would like to know how to implement on business ideas. I have ideas, and it goes that far, but how do you overcome hurdles?
Listen, in life, in business, and everything, you're going to have hurdles, you're going to have obstacles. But by the sounds of it, and I may be wrong, Joe, what it sounds like you're doing is you're getting to hurdle, you're stopping and then doing something else. That's what it sounds like. And the reality is, unless you stick at something, you're never going to get anywhere. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but I'm just saying if you really want to be successful, you're going to have hurdles, you're going to have obstacles, you're going to have rejection. You need to just see that and be like the ant. You know the story of the ant. Ants never give up. Ants will want to walk through that glass. They can't go through it, so they go up and over it, or they go around it, even if they can't go up and over, or they can't go around, they'll dig a frigging hole and they'll go underneath it. But the ant will never come back. So my point being is, it's very much like business. You have just got to keep going. And you've got to go down, up, round, through, whatever.
And find someone who maybe's set up a business like yours before and see how they did it. Yeah. How did they overcome the hurdles? How did they go through? You don't have to be the first to create everything. You don't have to recreate the wheel here. There are businesses out there. My book will probably go through a lot of the hurdles that you might read that and see how can you overcome, what can you do, because it's the same. People come across the same hurdles all the time. It's just a case of being persistent and making sure you find a way through it.
This is why I see the value in having a good coach or a good business coach or a good business mentor, because they've generally done it or they know the answer to it. So you don't have to always know the answers, but you have to know who you can speak to and get the right answers from.
Cool. Or ask us on the podcast. Rather than just being generic, ask us, what is the hurdle? How can we help? Ask us on here. Brilliant. Well, guys, thanks ever so much for tuning in. We'll be back next Monday at 12 o'clock. So please don't forget to check it out and subscribe so you never miss any of the episodes. Share it with your friends. Comment below. Ask us questions. We'd love you to get involved. And we will see you next week.
See you guys.